Hi guys, Denise here with Create Your Future. Thank you for joining me for today's video. This is going to be a really informative video with tons of information. I know I like to do that to you guys. This video is focused on overcoming all of your blocks and the path to doing that, how you discover them and how you overcome them. All right, it's going to talk about all the techniques in manifesting. And just there's going to be a lot of great information. It's going to be a great roadmap for you guys. So before we get started, as always, set your intentions to get the most out of this video. Check out the description below for the links to win some free coaching sessions. If you want to check out my courses that I've created, and I have recently created my first affirmation track, so I'm really stoked about that. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. Also it's on sale. Well, never mind, because it won't be by the time y'all see this video, sorry. But my one-on-one coaching is on sale. I have extended my sale price coaching through the end of the year to help everyone out through the holidays while we're spending money on our loved ones. So that being said, if you would like more support on your manifesting journey, there is a link in the description below to sign up with me for one-on-one coaching. Okay, so how to overcome and identify all of your blocks. What are blocks? Blocks are any negative thought pertaining to your desire, pertaining to your manifestation. Any negative thought. So fear about it manifesting is a block. Anger and or resentment toward your person or the money or the company or anything like that is a block to your manifestation. Assigning any negative meaning to things that have happened along the way is also a block to your manifestation. The need to control, micromanage, manipulate your 3D, those are all blocks. The need to speed up your manifestation, that is a block. So all of those are blocks. Any thoughts, feelings, concepts, ideas, beliefs, or assumptions that connect you with any of those things are blocks. They're blocks to you having your desire. So your blocks are basically all the negative thoughts you have about it, about the realization of it, the actualization of it, the manifestation of it. So how do you, through applying techniques, get through all these blocks? We have several or like a handful of techniques, and I'm not talking about the like, you do it a certain amount of times for a certain amount of days, or you drink the water, and I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about like the fundamentals of like mental diet, inner conversations, visualization, revision, scripting, meditation. I'm talking about these basic, like fundamental techniques. So we're going to get into each one and we're going to talk about what each one does and when to use each one, because chances are if you use all of them at different times, you will be practicing a full integral 360 approach to manifesting. You'll be covering all of it. And the reason is because when we think organically, when we're not practicing a technique or controlling the way we think in all these different ways. In other words, we think about memories of the past on a quite regular basis. More often than not, it's negative memories. We replay them in our head. We anticipate the future on a regular basis. We have conversations in our head. Typically, it's defending our point, arguing, convincing, these types of things. We practice, but not even practice, we have spontaneous imagery. We see things, we see scenes, we see things come through, visualizations, right? Like they come spontaneously. These things happen like normally. Like this is a way that we create without even trying. So that being said, you want to learn to apply all of these techniques, which when you think about it in simplicity, they're not out of the ordinary and they're not techniques. You want to practice following your normal or your in the moment form of thought and just change the content of what you're thinking. So in other words, if you are remembering something hurtful that happened in relation to your manifestation, whether it's a conversation, a text message, anything, you're remembering something you saw, anything hurtful, and you continue to choose to keep remembering it. As Neville says, and as we know, every time you remember and recall this painful memory, you are reinfecting yourself over and over and over and over again. And you are keeping yourself in that state of not having, of being hurt, of needing to protect. You're keeping yourself in that state. So that's when you would practice revision. You want to deliberately practice revision anytime you are either in the moment experiencing something that is hurtful or undesirable, whether it's happening to you or it's something you were doing, or after the fact, as it becomes a memory. If you don't do it in the moment, it will become a memory and you will have opportunity to do it. So don't worry. You don't have to be consistently on the spot revising. It's, you can, if you can, great. If not, great. It really does not matter because that memory, that experience will become something you replay if it hurt you. And in that moment, you will have the opportunity to practice revision on it. So you will naturally be doing what revision is like. You will naturally be thinking in the format that revision helps, right? Like, in other words, you'll naturally think of memories. And when you think of memories that you dislike, that is when you practice revision. So you change it. You force yourself to think of that memory the way you wish it happened. And you just keep deliberately thinking it every time the memory pops up. Okay? So that's how you use revision. That's when you use revision. Obviously, you can also practice revision every night, going through your whole day and replacing anything undesirable, but it's still the same thing. You're replacing the things that are undesirable so that you don't continue to reinfect yourself over and over and over again with the undesirable memory, right? So that you can now manifest and create the experience you want, and you're no longer holding on to resentment or anger or feeling unsafe or any of those other blocks that this painful memory is causing you, okay? So then we go into inner conversations. This also is something you can do deliberately, dominantly throughout your day. You can be one that consistently practices inner conversations as a way to get yourself in the state of the wish fulfilled. If you're not one of those people, however, that thinks that way dominantly, or that practice is easy for to maintain steadily throughout your day, you still probably, because I haven't met a person that doesn't, you still are someone that naturally sometimes has inner conversations. You are probably naturally at points arguing with your person, defending your point, something that's like convincing or stating or trying to convince, I just said that, or defend your perspective. Everyone does this. To my knowledge, I have not met someone that doesn't yet. So that is when you want to practice inner conversation. And it's very similar to revision because you're going to change the conversation. You're not revising something that actually happened. You're not thinking about a memory, but you're thinking about something, right? You're thinking about a conversation. You're creating that someone is saying or doing something hurtful to you, or you're creating or doing that you're the version that needs to change someone's opinion so that they don't continue to do something hurtful to you or something undesirable. So same thing, you go in and you create a conversation that supports you having your wish fulfilled. So instead of arguing with them in your mind or defending your perspective, trying to convince this version, you are now acknowledging and thus manifesting the version of them that already sees it your way, that feels exactly how you want them to feel. There's no convincing. And that's what inner conversations are about. That's what they do for you. they let you drop this old story of, how can you not see I'm perfect for you? Because every time you're doing that and having any type of conversation like that, what you're doing is you are aligning with, selecting, and manifesting the version of them that does not see how amazing you are, okay? Also, same thing if you're imagining yourself telling your close dear friend how crappy this person is to you, or how unlikely it is that you're going to get the job, or anything about your manifestation, right? If you're in your head running through a conversation where you're complaining about the thing that you want, you are manifesting that. So that's when you want to practice a deliberate inner conversation where now you are bragging about having the fulfillment of your desire. You're bragging about how wonderful your person is to you. You're bragging about how much you love working for this new company, okay? So then we get into like scripting, visualizing, meditating, all of those things. Those are things that we don't necessarily do naturally. Visualization, yes. Meditation, I believe we do get in states of meditation naturally. Scripting is more like a deliberate thing, right? And it's it stems from like when we're children, and some people had a diary and they would write in their diary, journaling, all of that. Obviously it's the same, it's just writing. So these are things you would do deliberately to put yourself in the state of the wish fulfilled. So you spend time to connect with the version of you that has their desire and that feels fulfilled and satisfied and is just totally connected with it. And you get into that state whichever way you wish. I practice all of them. I don't actually do visualization. I tried it once and it was overwhelmingly difficult. And I was like, this is not, now I'm trying to like be an interior designer. And I'm like, wait, do I want a window there? Do I like this table? Like, no, I don't want to do that. So for me, I'm not really a visual person. I love things that are aesthetically pleasing. I love being able to see. I love visualization in and of itself, like having a visual experience in reality, but I'm not the type of person that naturally or easily thinks up visual scenes. They come to me spontaneously as a result of my mental diet. So the thoughts that I'm dominantly thinking about something will spur a spontaneous, very quick visualization of an experience. So it's not something you have to do, but if you like doing it, then do it. Take some time every day to do a visualization, or a few times a week, or whatever suits your lifestyle and whatever suits your needs. Really, you want to do what feels good for you. Scripting, however, is my thing. I really like that. It's a very controlled time where I find it completely effortless to focus solely on what I want. And it's very disciplined. While I'm scripting, it's like I have a job and this is what I'm doing. And as a result of this, I'm not going to get distracted with anything else, which during visualization, I get distracted. If I'm just doing affirmations in my head, I tend to get distracted. If I'm like, I'm going to sit down and think all these affirmations over and over again. Now I'm like, that's not, mental diet is very similar to that, but for me, it's a little different. Like if I sit down and read through pages of affirmations, that I just don't want to do that. And I find myself looking for something else to do. So scripting, however, writing affirmations, writing from the perspective of me that has her wish fulfilled, I love doing that. And I can do that for a long, long time, every night, mostly. Although every night's usually like 3 to 5 nights a week, and I'm totally cool with that. So again, it's not like something you have to do, right? And that's all part of this. Like part of your healthy mental diet is deciding you don't have to do anything other than monitor your thoughts. And any other thing you want to do that helps you monitor your thoughts is great, and you can do it, but you absolutely don't have to. It's not a requirement to manifest what you want. If you do visualization, you don't have to see, hear, taste, smell, and feel it. You don't. You just have to know what you're thinking and be able to connect to that more than you're connecting to not having it, being afraid of it, feeling insecure about it, all of that stuff, trying to hurry it up, right? So Meditation, same thing, right? Meditation is I'm carving out time to connect with the version of me whose wish is fulfilled, whose desires are manifested, and all the things I'm going to think and feel are the result of me having my desire fulfilled, feeling satisfied, feeling complete, all of that. So that's when you do all these things, right? The scripting, the visualization, the meditation, you do that when you want to do it. You do it when it feels good. You do it when you're inspired, or you do it because it's a tool that helps you get out of a state of lack, fear, anxiety, anything like that. You do it when you want and when it's useful and beneficial to you. You will likely have spontaneous, natural visualizations as a result of a healthy mental diet. So all these things, revision, inner conversations, visualization, all of it is a mental diet, because like I said in the beginning, you think these things, or you think through these modalities at various points throughout your day organically. You organically will have inner conversations. You will organically have visualizations. You will organically remember things. And so it's really just about disciplining your mind to choose what you're remembering, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, and what you're thinking about, which is basically affirming, because every thought you have is an affirmation. But for the sake of talking about our techniques or the different modalities of how we think, and when I say affirmation, I mean more like the thought of I am good enough, or I'm not getting this. Like any thought that's just a thought that's not connected to like a scene or an inner conversation or a memory is just, to me, an affirmation, right? But really they're all affirmations because they're all affirming something. So hopefully that makes sense. I intend that it does. But yeah, that's the name of the game. Like, your mental diet is the foundation for manifestation. That's it. It's your mental diet encompasses all those other things. Practicing all those other things is conducive to having a healthy mental diet, or is representative of having a healthy mental diet. If you are practicing all those techniques, you are making sure that you are consistently, in each moment, having or practicing a healthy mental diet. If you're being in control of the memories you're having and you're choosing them deliberately, even if you're making up new ones to replace the old ones that aren't good, that's fine. You get to do that. Force yourself to think that over and over again, right? If you're making up a new conversation because this crappy one isn't serving you, do that. Keep doing it until the crappy one disappears and goes away. Same thing with visualization, same thing with all of it. Your mental diet is practicing to think, be, and do from the version that has their desire fulfilled. The more you practice to think that way, the easier it is to be and do. But I do want to stress that as you start your mental diet, because blocks can also be the need to control, micromanage, or protect ourselves from what might be happening out here, which means we start stalking, we start looking for the hurtful things, we start, exploring and going through things and looking at followers and likes and all that stuff. And so as you start your healthy mental diet, where you're affirming I'm confident, secure, and safe, and all my needs are met, you need to also practice doing and being from that version, which means not looking for how you're potentially being hurt, not looking for any untruths you think you're being told, not looking for that person that you think is better qualified or will get what you want. You can't do those things and expect much change, right? You'll get there eventually if you keep persisting in the thoughts. I believe, and I've seen, that eventually you will become the person that no longer does those things, but you'll get there so much faster if you practice them both simultaneously. And it does take discipline, and it does take effort, And, sometimes it takes literally sitting on your hands or getting out a notebook and scripting or putting on a meditation or doing whatever you like to do, but busy yourself from letting yourself slip into the version of you that's doing things from their blocks, that's looking for how they're going to get hurt or how they need to protect themselves or how they need to control or manage their 3D and what's happening outside of them. All right, so that's my video for today. Lots of stuff in there. I've done a video like this before. I'm just realizing that now, where I did talk about mental diet is everything. Like, it is the foundation for everything. You're always, no matter what technique, it still is a mental diet, right? And that is the most important thing to do. It's the only thing you have to do. All the other stuff is basically different forms of maintaining a healthy mental diet. So keep up on that. And if you do that, if you practice it how I've laid it out for you, you're very conscious and aware of, oh, I'm having an argument with my person in my head. That means I need to create an inner conversation that's representative of them giving me everything I want. If you're very conscious of, oh, I keep remembering this thing that hurt me, I need to revise this memory so that it was exactly how I wanted it to go, and continue to practice thinking that until it goes away. If you're conscious of that as often as possible, which you're as often as possible will change throughout the process. Start doing it now and start doing it as often as possible. And with practice, it becomes more and more natural. It becomes more effortless, it becomes easier, and it just becomes your way of life, which, like I said before, is where I'm at with my mental diet now. Very rarely do I really find myself, I never spiral anymore, but very rarely do I find myself going, oh, I haven't been doing a mental diet all day. That just doesn't happen anymore. It's second nature to me, and so many of the big, I'll call them, really important limiting beliefs that I used to have are now completely reprogrammed, and I don't have to worry about those anymore. So now my mental diet, like the effort that I put into it, is more related to it's like the little things on top, the sprinkly things, focusing more on just interactions out in public and things going really smooth on the highway, what we would call the little things. Now I'm just focused on that. And even that's it's not taking a whole lot of energy or effort because it's just second nature now, right? But I'm in a groove now where so many, if not all of the big things that I really wanted to change and beliefs that I wanted to reprogram, they have now become reprogrammed. So it's so easy. Mental diet has become so easy. And now also that's only until I'm working on something that I feel is big next, right? As soon as I have a desire, which actually I'm going to share with you guys today, I realized I have a new desire. You all know that I was able to move into my dream house, a house that I wanted to move back into for years. But my intention has been to buy this house. When I first got the house, was able to move back in, there was a plan in place that after 2 years, I would be able to buy it. I'm not there, and that's coming up in March. So I've been focusing on intending that I get another 2 years while I get the rest of my finances in order so that I can become a homeowner without taking out a ginormous loan and having to pay mortgage for the rest of my life because I am in my mid-40s. But maybe not the rest of my life, but close to it. So I just got the phone call today that the owner of the home is extending her sale date to 2025 for reasons outside, it's not anything that pertains to me. It totally coincides with things and events that have occurred in her life. So basically I'm getting 2 more years, which is exactly what I've been intending will happen. So that's my big thing now, right? So now I will be more focused and more disciplined and putting in more effort in that. But even still, with the amount of effort that I'll be putting in and the amount of discipline, it's such a different playing field than it was 2 years ago, right? It's such a different playing field because the amount of negative thoughts are so lower, and the power that they hold for me is so minimal now. I'm just like, oh, like this isn't even a block. This is just a thing that I'm gonna just get out of the way soon. It's not like, you know, it used to feel like, oh God, I feel this, I believe this, I think this, am I ever gonna be able to overcome this? And now I'm like, yeah, I got that, like no big deal, that ain't nothing. So that's where you get as you continue to practice. As you practice a very integral, holistic approach to your mental diet, it becomes effortless, it becomes second nature, and it becomes fun. Like it becomes enjoyable to start to watch your world and the extended world around you change and conform to the things that you've been wanting and that you think would work out better and would be more convenient and would make you more happy and would just be better for the planet or all the people in it or whatever it is. Like it becomes so much fun to get into that and watch that and be part of that. So that is my video for today. I just keep looking outside because the sky is so beautiful out there. I've got this window over there and it's like this weird day where it was sunny all day and now it's all cloudy, but there's still some of that bright, it's just beautiful. The trees are so pretty. Anyway, I keep seeing birds fly by and I like that too. I like birds as long as they're in the sky. Like, don't come near me. Don't touch me with your weird feet. But anyway, I love you guys. You are powerful. You are amazing. You are so good at doing a mental diet. It's so easy for you. It totally comes natural to you. Anytime you recognize a negative thought, you're not afraid of it. You're not worried about it. You don't fear it. You just confidently know to keep practicing the opposite of it. And you're just going to keep doing that until that old thought kicks rocks, and it will. It'll disappear. Don't worry. I promise you. I had so many negative thoughts about myself in many areas of my life, to be honest. Like I know some people struggle in like one area, but like everything else seems to work, or some people, you know, it's a couple, but I mean, there was a lot. Relationships, romantic and non-romantic, financial, success, just in general, like insecurities overall. Like I was one of those cases where, you know, it's like I feel like I had so many negative thoughts stacked against me. And through years of persisting, they're gone. So you can do it too. And you are doing it. And keep doing it because it gets easier and it gets way more fun and things start to change. And that's so awesome. All right. That's my video now. I love you guys. Happy manifesting. You're wonderful. Bye-bye.